suffocates, whisper in the hall, where justice wears a mask and truth begins to fall. Every thread they pull, every lie they weave, in the courtroom's dance, who's left to believe? Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight. A photograph fades where the truth once stood, blurred lines between the bad and the good. The scales they tilt with every silver tongue, while the broken cry for a song unsung. Black robes sway like shadows on the wall, one wrong word and the mighty fall. Who's a sinner? Who's a saint? The jury's out, but the verdict's faint. Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know why I'm here today? It's not because I want to give you a pep talk or because I want to make you feel good about yourselves. No, I'm here to tell you the truth.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Devil's Advocates. I'm filling in for DA. I got 1-1 backstage. I'm not too fluid with Streamyard lives at this point, so I'm going to see if I can get the chat stuff sorted out. And it's going to take me a minute because I'm not used to doing this. So we're going to talk about some of the stuff we like to talk about. The Idaho 4 case, the Charlie Kirk case primarily. And we're going to kind of go off on some tangents tonight. So if it's just 1-1 and I, we're going to take advantage of the time and go deep into the weeds. And all right, so it looks like I've got Estes Crime Maze backstage too. And that's great. We'll pull him up shortly. I just got to sort out how to get the chat up on screen. And maybe Estes Crime Maze can help me with that, because I see that there is a chat going on my phone. So I'll get that sorted out. And give me 1 second. I'm going to look and see if there's an obvious tab that I'm overlooking. All right, I can't see anything that's in plain sight. So I'm going to bring 1-1 up, and then we'll bring Estes Crime Maze up shortly. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this. 1-1. Can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you.
There you are, with your cigar in hand.
Of course.
All right,
Only
that's good.
the
I'm just
best.
making.
How are you doing
I'm
tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm just making sure that I've got all the settings set right because I'm using DA's Streamyard account.
Yeah, he told me. Yep.
So I'm just trying to get it set up. And I don't have the chat showing on the screen for some reason. So that's the only glitch that I'm running into so far. I'm going to bring up Estes Crime Maze too, because he just did a live and he might have some insights as to where the if there's a tab to get the chat up on screen as well. So with no further ado, let's get let me change the setup here so we can see everybody.
I love it.
Hold
He's
on.
behind the parental
There we go. That's better. What's up, Estes Crime Maze?
Not too much, man. Just chilling in the snow here in the powerful country of Canada. Looking at you guys. Great to be here tonight. True
Right
crime.
on, man. Hey,
Yeah.
can you give me any insights how to get the chat up on
Sure.
screen?
I believe you press the three dots on the right-hand side. So I'm doing that now. Yeah, and then you just press comments. You'll see the menu at the top. Do you see that?
I have a Mac, so it's a little bit different.
Oh.
Where are the three dots? Because is it at the very top of the screen
No,
or is it
I'm on
hold
my
on.
phone. Sorry, so it's at the bottom. I'm not even on my computer, so I guess I
Oh,
can't
wait,
be of a
I
help.
think I see. Let me see. No, that's not. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Sorry to everyone in the chat. I want to get your comments up on screen. And if I can find comments. All right. I think I see them on my end,
Good.
but I'm not seeing them on this main screen. Let me try something else here. No luck.
So, and the comments, that's just for the chat if we were on, I believe, StreamYard or something.
Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. We're
There you
good.
go. You got it.
I got it. Sorry, everybody, for the glitch there. We'll get it
Glitch in the
going.
matrix again. Big
The
deal.
glitch in the matrix, but we're all good to go now. We're all set. We've got DA's parental
So
advisory. And just let me say
yep.
before we start, obviously, this is for entertainment purposes only, and everything we talk about is our opinions and speculation, just to get that out of the way. So I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to reiterate what I'd like to talk about today. Now, since the main two cases that I have followed are the Idaho 4 and Charlie Kirk cases, we're going to focus on that. And I'm going to give you guys free reign to talk about some of your theories, but I'm also going to prod you a little bit about your theories to get you to expand on it a little bit. So the first thing I wanted to throw out there, because there's been a lot of talk about it, and Estes Crime Maze just did a great live about this. So I'm going to introduce this idea first. Let's assume that the Idaho 4 case was actually a WITSEC extraction operation. So let's go with that. We're going to assume that that is in fact what it was. Now, and a couple other things I'm going to piggyback off of that. But so the first thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to throw it out to you guys. I'll throw it to 1-1 first and Estes Crime Maze. who in the house do you think was the confidential informant? And if it was more than one, say who, if it's all of them or just a few of them, and then give me your take on why you think what it was that they were informing about specifically and how that came to be, how they came to be a confidential informant. So I'll throw it to one first.
Ooh, got a lot of stuff out there. I would say I would be inclined to think that probably, oh man, I would, the easy answer that most people would probably say would, they would say, oh, it's probably, Kaylee because her face was bashed in and whatever and all that. But if you think about it logically, it doesn't really make sense that it would be her. I know she was graduating and whatever. She was, I guess, going to be moving to Texas. But she wasn't even supposed to be there. So, but she was invited to go to a party, or she wanted to show Maddie her new car, which she didn't even have. Which that's a whole nother thing in itself. Her whole reason really for going there, right, was to show this new car that she didn't even have, right, because there was something wrong with it. So that's that's like a little odd in itself. But man, I haven't heard. So from going by all the stuff and listening to the friends and listening to people, listening to all the interrogations, or well, I shouldn't say interrogation. I don't know what you call it, because some of these interviews were basically piles of dog shit. But I would, if I had to pick someone, if I had to pick one of the four that were, you know, allegedly killed, whatever, I would probably say Maddie. There's a lot of people who, some of the friends and whatnot have, they know, they visually were with Xana or Ethan. They know they were taking Adderall, or some other stuff. I know Xana's parents somewhat, have a prior thing with drugs, and they probably, based on the evidence, looks like there was some kind of informant to get their charges reduced and whatnot. But just because the parents did that doesn't mean that Xana was in on it. But she could possibly be. But I think that the one that seems like, to me, from what I have known, it seems like Maddie didn't really have anything to do much with drugs at all. So I don't know. Maybe she stumbled upon something, or there was something she just, she really didn't like it in the house or whatnot. And I don't know. However, through the channels, reached out to whoever. I mean, there's no question. We know there's a drug operation going on. Like, I think that there was drug operation going on there for a while. So I think Maddie might be the key. And then, Kaylee probably, maybe she knew a bunch of stuff going on with it as well, because Maddie and Kaylee were, best friends from high school or whatnot. But my pick would be Maddie. Was kind of the sole informant. I could also see, I could see the other way, the other thing too, like, oh well, Xana is kind of involved with some of the drugs as well. So, she could easily, I guess, get getting in with giving intel as well. So, maybe there was some kind of conflict there too between Maddie and if Xana and Ethan should known that there's what I saw in these interviews, I didn't see any question really. Okay, you saw them, one of them snorted it, or was one of them swallowed a pill or whatever, but where did it come from? Where did they get this stuff from? Um, do they know anything about? Did they ever, buy anything? Or so? Although it seems like was Kaylee trying to had some info and she was hiding it. She didn't want to reveal it, or she wouldn't give it up, and therefore, she was tortured a bit more to give up that info. Uh, I, I see like people trying to go like down that road, but again, she wasn't even supposed. It was like she wasn't even supposed to be there. It was like she was brought there, I guess. By Dylan and whatnot. So I don't know. Maddie would. I'm kind of going with Maddie. Um, so that's
Yeah.
my pick.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anything I'm saying makes. I know I'm kind of like going in circles because I could see a few different people. Like I said, I know the whole connection with Xana's parents. You get that. Um, I don't think Ethan is. I don't think Ethan is the CI. I don't know. I just don't. My pick is Maddie. I could, but I know also yes, there is a thing too that Kaylee was involved. She was all into about like true crime, and she was into all that. But to me, I don't know if that really like being a CI like with drugs and whatnot. I don't know, that doesn't, to me, that doesn't really match. Okay, she's into true crime. I think that was more about trying to figure out who killed Hannah Claire, or what happened with Hannah Claire, and what happened with the other guy that supposedly drowned or committed suicide. So I don't know. I don't think Kaylee was the CI. I'm going more with Maddie. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel.
yeah, and before I get Estes Crime Maze's take on it, I'm gonna just say, I mean, obviously, the way it shaped up, there's four of them, right?
Right.
So at some point, they would have all, if in fact this was an extraction, they would have all had to have been obviously on board. So that's just
Right.
one thing right out of the
That's
gate. And I
true.
won't I
All
won't
right.
say more than that until after Estes Crime Maze. So Estes Crime Maze, give us your take on that. Who do you think was the confidential informant to start? Let's say who was the one who initiated it, because there would have had to have been one. And what do you think was the thing that led them to be that? Like what they were involved in and who they knew about, if you have any insights into that.
It would be more speculation, but I always thought lean more towards Kaylee. I see one's why he would think that it could be Maddie with the parents having drug addictions and drug problems and probably making deals with law enforcement at times. So it could be Maddie or it could be Kaylee. It certainly was pre-planned, I think, because Kaylee, remember, I keep saying it photobombed her mother the day
Yeah.
before this happened. So that's very weird, is it not?
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. It definitely is.
So
And
how do you
I always
think?
wanted to know what she was texting, excuse me, at the grub truck. Could that have been a federal agent, to drive me home and then, or we're going to get extracted or maybe not even go to home? Maybe they didn't even make it home. I don't know, but I will never believe that they were killed. That's for damn sure. But it's just me.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah. So how do you think that it came about though? What do you think if it was
Oh,
Kaylee?
sorry.
What do you think led to her being a CI?
I can only assume what one said, and I'm sure you said it before, Joe, is the major drug investigations going on. One brought it up, and I would add they were huge drug investigations and huge drug busts, right? We saw in Washington
Yeah.
State. So I think for sure 1122 King Road must have played an integral role, I would think, in a way, in those drug busts that happened afterwards. And thus the students probably were in danger. Some CI was compromised, and the feds would have known that right away, I believe, because again, surveillance and CI working with the feds. And so what's the next step? Well, you don't sit around on your ass and wait for area and night members to go inside more than one of them. They may have been around the neighborhood, like we heard, I see you Farley, right? If that's a real,
Yeah.
if that wasn't just a psyop, if this woman wasn't put up to say, oh, go say I see you Farley, to make it think Aryan families are around the house. Farley may have been around that neighborhood, and that's not good. And the feds would have moved in right away. And then you saw the huge operation out front. That was not, as Pav says, these Aryan family, Aryan night members. I used to think that, but no. When you connect the dots, I think those most likely would have been feds. And the dumpster guy as well, smoking a cigarette. Aryan family, Aryan nights. They wouldn't make themselves visible like that, even though the feds are trying to do this covertly too. I'm kind of being bouncing off all over the place there, but you know what I mean?
Right. Well, before I comment and give some feedback on that, I just want to say hi to some of the people in the chat. Penny,
Oh yeah.
first in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Penny? What's up, Amanda B? Cheryl E. Fitzgerald, what's up? How you guys doing? Mama
Hello,
J.
beautiful audience.
Yeah, Molly Bledsoe. You got who else we got in here? I saw
Yeah, I can't see the
I see
actually I
Pavarotti.
can see.
Robin.
He's on there. He said he saw our video last night. No, it's not him. Shit.
Robin Slayton. Hello, Robin Slayton. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. I appreciate your support. All right. So I just wanted to say a couple of things about that. That things that have popped into my mind when I have thought about the WITSEC extraction angle. Now, Ethan was there, right?
Yes.
So he would have been part of the extraction. So I wonder about Maddie's boyfriend. Was there any follow-up on him after this case, like what he was doing? Because you would think if they were still together, which from what I know they were, but he had, I think, was in Boise, or he had already graduated and was working a job. Was he part of it too? Because that would be a good piece of supporting evidence if he disappeared, right? And no one knew about his whereabouts. That would be pretty telling about that whole thing. So that's just one first thought that pops into my mind. Another thing that pops into my mind is like, there were rumors, like I would have to say, if in fact one of them was a CI and there was an extraction, I agree with Estes Crime Maze that I think Kaylee would have been the first one. And one of the things that gives me that impression is that maybe Kaylee leaving had nothing to do with her taking another job that nobody seems to have a whole lot of information about, that she was supposedly doing this job that she had gotten, like IT or something along those lines. Maybe she had been dealing with the feds and that was why she was gone for a while.
I like that.
And they had to bring her back into the fold to create this operation. And through Kaylee, she got the others on board because they might have been at risk, right? So Xana, Ethan, or Xana and Maddie, but Ethan, because it's Xana's boyfriend, right? So they would want to leave together. So I think a key to looking into that more deeply would be Jake, Maddie's boyfriend, to see if anybody had any kind of follow-up insights into that. So that's something, I don't know if anybody has looked into that. If anybody in the chat has heard anything about Maddie's boyfriend and where he was at and what he was up to, that would be an interesting one. Well, Molly says gloves documents say Ethan and BK DNA wasn't on the glove, but they were two-day DNA, blood and hair. Yes, I've heard that too. If anybody in the chat has any thoughts about if, let's just say hypothetically, this was a WITSEC extraction operation for confidential informants, what your take is on it. If you guys have any insights, and if anybody knows anything about the follow-up on Maddie's boyfriend after this whole event took place. Another thing, we've all talked about quite a bit is BK being a Fed, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I've said this for a long time that I thought he could have been because he was pursuing high level education in criminology, right? And I've said it many times. Someone who's doing
Yeah.
that is not trying to become a cop, right? He's not, you
No.
don't get your PhD if you're trying to become a police officer, right? That's like a 200, $150,000, $200,000 education. It's offset by you get fellowships and things like that and grants, but it's still an expensive endeavor and a lot of time commitment.
Yeah.
So the idea that I've had is he would most likely want to get into federal law enforcement or intelligence, something at like a higher level where it's dealing more in criminology as opposed to specifically law enforcement, right? Because the FBI's got a profiling division. The CIA's got all kinds of psychological operations and things like that. So that's a possibility. And I tend to think that whether this was a WITSEC extraction or not, that BK was a Fed. And I won't go into too much more detail. One, I'll go to you first. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts about the idea that if BK was a Fed or not?
I think there's a strong possibility. It's one of my alternate things that I believe. It's either that he, again, I'm in the favor of I'm in the same camp as Lee. I do think that Copaka was involved with this. And I do think that Koberger had a connection to Copaka, and that's why they wiped. That's why this guy's phone was wiped. They're trying to completely eliminate like any connection that Koberger had with Copaka. Now the question is it just that Koberger? Is it just that maybe like you've mentioned a few times, going for a PhD, there's a lot of stress, a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff going on. Was the pressure getting to him? Was he getting back into drugs a little bit or whatnot? I definitely could see that. Or was he just, friends with Copaka back from Pennsylvania? And this is just someone that he knew from the area and hung out with. It's either that or he definitely was, however you look at it, an asset outsourced. It's not a hard thing to imagine someone of his caliber. His prior professor, don't remember her name. She said in a 10-year period, she only recommended 2 students to this PhD program, and he's one of them.
Right.
So that just tells you how bright he is. So they could, the mainstream media, and they're trying to paint this whole picture and nonsense that he's an incel and all this nonsense. I mean, I believe there's a girl who posted a video on TikTok or whatever that had dated him, that went on a date with him. Like he clearly you know, maybe he's a little quirky. He might, you know, I mean, we're all a little quirky in our own ways. Uh, could he have, you know, some kind of autism or you know, Asperger's or whatever? I mean, I have someone in my family that has Asperger's. The this individual works full, you know, full time. Um, you know, just because you have some kind of mental illness doesn't, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean you know you're gonna flip out and go crazy. You know, it just it's horrible of what mainstream media tries to do. Just like you're like, oh, this guy's not normal, and you know, there's a lot of people that suffer from this stuff. That yeah, again, they may be a little quirky here or there, but that doesn't you know that it's just something they have to deal with. Um, and some of these people that have this stuff have, you know, are usually highly intelligent in certain areas.
Yeah,
I
let me,
think
hey,
even
one, let me jump in here. I'm getting a little distortion from your mic. I don't know if
oh
everybody
yeah,
else is hearing that. So I don't know if it's a battery
can
powered
you?
mic or if it's
I don't know,
or
I'm
what.
using my phone. Can't hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm getting it. I hear you. It's just it's been distorting. Estes Crimes, is
Uh,
he distorting on your end too?
I didn't notice.
Yeah, for some reason I'm getting a little distortion from 1-1, but not you, Estes Crimes.
okay.
1-1 must be pissing off the CIA but he's not even talking about the CIA much. But I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. But
Yeah, well,
yeah, I definitely think that yeah, it's strong possibility he could be connected. He already right. He was trying to volunteer for the police department or whatever. Interviewed, which they said he didn't get the position. Which that may be even a lie itself. He may have been like under the radar. Have you know they were using him to kind of you know help you know maybe analyze you know certain things if he was truly like that brilliant and whatnot. And it's the other thing I just have to mention quick, you know, going along with what you know you saying Koberger, you know, what's the chances that he was recruited. um does anyone truly believe out there that this guy who's going for a PhD in criminology and he's researching serial killers and all this stuff, you think that he's gonna make these silly mistakes? He's gonna buy a knife on Amazon.
Of course.
He's gonna shut his phone off. Like this is a guy who
Sure he would. No, I'm just kidding.
he's super, yeah, he's super, yeah, you guys have to think outside the box. Like sure, how do people get caught with crimes? Yeah, they make silly stupid mistakes. This is not
yeah.
this isn't this guy's going for a PhD. There's not, you know, not everyone is even capable of getting a PhD. This is, you know, that's like top of the echelon. He's going, you know, he's not gonna make these stupid errors. He's not gonna turn his phone off, like right, you know. Oh, okay. They won't be able to track me. He knows that they look at behavior. They look at all these different things. Um, so yeah, I could definitely see
You're,
him being
one
that he
one
was
one is
part of it.
cracking on my end. You're I don't know if that was what DA or what
Yeah,
was Joe
yeah,
was hearing.
it's crackling. I'm gonna jump in real quick before we go to Estes Crime Maze about this. I'm gonna drop a crazy theory, and I wanted to drop this before Estes Crime Maze gives us his take because he's gonna like chewing on this. What if Brent Copaka was going into WITSEC?
Yeah. That's what
What
somebody,
if,
I think, left a comment on my live, I think, that said that. Interesting. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, what if he was part in some way, he could have been connected to that, either that house or stuff that was going on in that area that we all know was going on in that area.
Mm,
And, he would have potentially been in the WITSEC program. And so they had to stage like he was taken out also.
yeah, I like
Just a
that.
thought. I know it's kind of out there, but it's something to consider because we've all talked about, look, what a coincidence that this guy who's in the area right after this alleged brutal quadruple homicide takes place gets taken
Mhm.
out in a very strange standoff.
Very,
Where
yes.
the information about it was a little bit kind of sketchy. So
Yes, it was.
anyway, with that, I'm gonna throw it to Essie's Crime Maze. And give me your take on the BK being a Fed and tie it in, as we all know that you will, with the WITSEC angle, and then give me your take on Copaka potentially being part of that.
Yeah, I think just what you said, that I've thought for what, a year and a half or so that BK, or actually almost from the get-go, that BK was probably a Fed. My friend Ellie thinks that he was an informant, I guess a CI, and that very well could be too. But in some way, he was working obviously with the Feds. A lot of these people and these characters in this story, as you know, seem to be working with the Feds in some capacity. And yeah, I think Brian Koberger is in the WITSEC program. Absolutely, I will never believe, unless they can prove it, that he's in jail and rotting away. It's all part of the nonsense CIA, FBI narrative there. So, and then Copaka, you guys have done amazing work on Copaka. The way you put it, the way you just articulated that, Joe, I like that. I totally agree. I've been thinking this for a while, that Copaka could be in the WITSEC program, and I think most likely, yes, he is alive. It was staged, like you said. There's a lot of sketchy things going on, and he just happens to be in town. There's too many coincidences, and we know we're starting to understand some of these WITSEC programs and the fact that extractions, again, removal operations are a real thing, and they have the laws in place to do it, and they have the U.S. Marshals in place, certain people to do these extractions, and they got it probably down pat, right? Just like a Charlie Kirk on the jet plane, and I believe out the back door as well. But I'm getting sidetracked. So
Right.
I hope I answered the question a little bit.
All right. Yeah. And DA's backstage, so I'm going to bring him up in a sec. I just
Shit, I
wanted
hope I didn't blow
to.
the show. I don't want him pissed off at me. Devil's advocates.
No. You up there, DA? There he is.
Yeah, we see him.
DA, the king of the castle is back, everybody. DA, talk so we could see. I can't hear you yet.
Oh, probably because I wasn't saying anything. Can you hear me now?
There you go. There you go. I just want to make sure I didn't screw that up too.
It's real difficult to hear me if I don't say anything. Yeah.
Right on,
I
man.
didn't even know I was on. What are you doing pissing all over my show tonight? I'm telling you, man.
Dude, that's the goal. I'm gonna run you into the ground, man. I'm gonna
Well,
sink the ship.
That's it. We
I was
took
just gonna
over.
say, in response to Estes Crime Maze, he was talking about Brian Koberger being in the WITSEC. Me and DA are gonna try to break him out next week, so we'll find out soon enough if he's really there or not.
wow. Yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a trick, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Well,
DA
anyways, I just
is
wanted
on
to
a secret mission.
check in. I'm on cellular connection on my cell phone with a street lamp for lighting, because who knows, this might be the way that we go live in a couple days, actually, or something. So,
Right
How was
on,
your
man.
day, DA?
where's my what?
How was your day?
Oh, I thought you said, where's my date? I'm like, I don't have dates. I'm married. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, my day was a mess. It was kind of a mess. So
Oh, you get
it's
those.
yeah, it's all right. It's all right. How are you guys doing tonight? Did you guys solve the Koberger case already while I was gone, or?
It
We're
sounds
getting
like
close,
they
man.
did.
Yeah, we're getting into it.
Yeah, we're
I was trying
getting
to
close.
rotate. And I can't, no,
We're going off on some tangents, of course. That's
You,
my
you
I
got
stock
it.
in
I figured as
trade.
much.
You got to think. I was just thinking this. Would it relate to Koberger being a Fed when if you just look at Olivia Gonzalez, that whole theater that, in my opinion, that she put in, and DA's nodding his head. I think she just went off on Brian Koberger. Like, I wish I could remember all her ridiculous, outrageous statements. And I'm
Yeah,
thinking, Brian Kohlberger, you know he's a Fed. You know he's not what it's been made out to be, Olivia Gonzalez. You're a smart cookie. Come on. You know your sister is alive, in my opinion. But anyway, I just thought that was wild. Did you guys think that was wild? The way Olivia went off?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
very
I mean,
insincere?
by
Yeah.
the way, I was
A
gonna
lot of
try
people
to
say
bring
that.
it up on screen, but I have a different interface than what's normal because I have a Mac. I was gonna try to pull up some videos and I was not able to get the tab to share. But I had
Hmm.
pulled up that Bubbly Waters video with the Gonzalez family,
Oh, right
and
on.
sure enough, I mean, I'm sure most people in the chat have seen that video, Bubbly Waters video with Christy and Steve Gonsalves, where she does say, and so this is how she prefaced and came to that. She was talking about all the things that they would miss out on, the girls, getting married and buying their first house and having kids. And then at the end of that, she said, Maddie just bought a house. And then she stopped, and you could see Steve Gonsalves has a sort of reaction, and Christy sort of has a reaction like, oops,
Yeah.
like what did I do? So I watched that
Yeah.
video, and sure enough, it does present a pretty suspicious thing, because why would she cut herself off? Right?
Yeah.
Why would she stop herself?
But I just got to throw this in there. You know, the dude with the huge channel, hundreds of videos, the guy I want to box and interview, J. Emery Pavarotti. He does it. He's friends with Bubbly, right? He pumps her up, rightly so, and yet he won't play that clip. I wonder why.
Well, I've said to you guys numerous times, DA is probably sick of hearing me talk about it, but I have felt a Fed vibe from Steve G for a long time.
Yeah, me too.
And I have felt that same vibe from Pavarotti. And what I have said all along for a long time, I was like, this guy, he seems to me like one of these people that floods the zone. And for people who don't know what that term means, it's when a big event happens, all of a sudden these content creators pop up that get a big following pretty quickly, and they're posting tons of content with a variety of different information. And
yeah, we just got to be careful. We're not going to go on about him too much tonight, probably on DA's show. But I agree with you, Joe, and we'll get him in the ring one day. And DA and you guys are supporting me. I appreciate it. And hopefully, either DA interviews this guy, and if DA gets a chance first, hopefully you guys could set it up for me to have a chance at this clown Pavarotti. Anyway.
yeah, well, we're
that's
going to
all.
try to get that going, man. We're going to try to get you in the ring with Pavarotti, though. That guy could be a
He's a
trained
big boy. I got to
assassin.
heal my injuries and start training again, but it will happen. It will happen.
All right.
And I
I'm
box.
looking
Hey, guy.
forward to it.
Hey, I'm standing outside. I'm freezing balls. It is like super cold out here. I just wanted to test this theory that I could call into my own show because I think that's going to be potentially important coming up here in the next few days. So I just wanted to test it. I don't want to stay here too long because it's like freaking 30 degrees, which isn't horribly Fahrenheit, by the way, for those of people who are international and like, what the hell's 30 degrees? That doesn't sound bad at all. But anyways, yeah, 30 degrees Fahrenheit. It's cold as balls. So I'm going to go say goodnight. Thanks for taking over the show and doing this test run. I hope everybody has a great time. I'm going to go back in and get warm and take the night off.
We're going to get
All
into
right,
very
DA.
sensitive topics, DA, so you may not see us again. We may be
Yeah.
have to go in a WITSEC program. It's possible. So
Yeah, I'm terrified of what you guys are doing in my name, my show on right now, but it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my best, TA. I'll try not to sink the ship.
All right, take it easy, guys. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Have a good
See,
night.
see you, DA.
Yep.
CTA.
And I wanted to say hi